Call to order the regular meeting of the Dale City City Council for February 6, 2023. Melissa, would you call the roll, please?
Councilman Gandy.
Here.
Councilwoman Mooney. Here. Councilwoman Finch. Here. Councilman Dean.
Here.
And Mayor Eason.
The mayor is here. Would everybody rise for the invocation? And today we're going to have Mike Smith, Commissioner Mike Smith. He's on the Urban Renewal Commission, serves the city in that capacity. Would you open us with a prayer, please?
Pray. Heavenly Father, we come before your presence today. We thank you for the way that you provided for us. We thank you for the councilmen and the people of this city. We thank you, Father, for the way that you've taken care of just the economy here locally and just the way things are going. I pray that you would be with our servicemen. Pray that you would be with all of our all the employees of this city. I pray that you would bless our day, bless this meeting, and give us a good day. In Jesus' name.
Amen. Mike, where's your church located?
We are at 3236 Southeast 15th,
Right down the street from us.
took the old carpet warehouse, we remodeled it about 16 years ago. Okay, years, and things from there.
Sunday school's at 10 o'clock?
We don't have Sunday school right now. We have 11 o'clock worship service.
All right.
Got a Wednesday night study time.
Thank you. Sam Turk, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Is there anybody in the public that would like to speak to the council on non-agenda items? Mr. Hawks.
Good evening, everyone. This is just a reminder that this Thursday night is a special meeting of the City Council and a joint meeting with the Planning Commission to go over the next step of the comprehensive plan, where we are focusing on the three focus areas.
Oh, I'm sorry. Try that.
Thank you. Where we're focusing on the three focus areas. Citizens and business owners have been invited to focus groups on Wednesday and Thursday. Just wanted to let you all know that is for the business owners and the citizens, and the special meeting of the council will be at 6 o'clock at the community center, joint with the Planning Commission.
All right.
This Thursday, 6 o'clock at the community center, joint meeting of the City Council and the Planning Commission. Oh, for the citizens, specific citizens and business owners have been invited to celebrate, to work in a focus group about our three special focus areas this Wednesday and Thursday at the community center.
All right. Thank you, JD. Anybody else that would like to address the council on non-agenda items? Okay. Seeing none, Councilman Gandy.
Nothing at this time.
Councilman Mooney.
Nothing at this time.
Councilman Finch.
It's already given because I call Mike Cantrell every day and probably about every night to tell him what I need done. Thank you.
Councilman Dean.
Already given.
All right. I've already talked to Mr. Cantrell about this, but I just want to put it out there for the public anyway. The deer population seems to be increasing off of Reno, north of Reno, that wooded area out there. And we need to pay attention to animal crossings and deer crossings there. I asked Mr. Cantrell to put a deer crossing sign up, and I assume Public Works is working on that. They will be. Okay. But if you're driving in that area in the evening, right at dusk, there have been notices of 6 to 8 different deer crossing at Reno. So pay attention when you're driving through that area. Nobody wants to hit Bambi, and nobody wants their car messed up. So just pay attention with that. City managers report.
Nothing at this time.
City clerk's report.
Nothing at this time.
Moving on to item number 6, minutes. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of the council, January 17th, 2023. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion, we approve the minutes. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Mooney.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. The motion carries. Item number 7, Dining in Del City Expose for February 2023. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve or deny receiving a presentation from the Economic Development Team on the Dining in Del City Expose recipient for February 2023. Ditter's Coffee and Tea, located at 5501 Main Street, Suite 110. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion that we approve the presentation.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Mooney.
Aye.
Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. The motion carries. The presentation is now open. JD, are you speaking or is someone else speaking?
Yes, I am speaking. Good evening, council.
State your name for,
I am Rashana Moore, Marketing Director for the Economic Development in the city. Today's Dining in Del City Expose recipient is Jitters Coffee and Tea. Jitters Coffee and Tea was established in 2016 by James and Sarah Clark in Midwest City, Oklahoma. They started as a drive-through concept, and they focused on providing specialty coffee and tea as an alternative to the big box coffee shops. Today, they are privileged to have opened 2 other locations, one in which is in Del City, Oklahoma, on Sooner. They now feature a higher-end brunch menu by the in-house chefs, and they have baristas while maintaining outstanding and local roasted quality coffee, backed by unrivaled service and experience, and their talented baristas. They provide professional and luxury service of coffee and teas. The name Jitters came from the catchy phrase and a fun way of expressing the emotion that teas and coffee gives you. The most people, Jitters' goal is offer elite customer experience and high quality local products as at a reasonable cost. I think we have James and Sarah Clark. Oh, Jeff. Jeff and Sarah Clark. Oh, okay. And you can come up and speak.
Thank you, guys. I don't have anything prepped, but thanks for that honor. I appreciate that. And I think I said this last year. 2021, we were the business of the year in Del City, and I'll repeat the same sentiments. Del City, by far, we've got 3 locations. Del City, by far, has been the best community to work in and around. The relationship between the chamber, both the chamber and the city of Del City, has been really the main reason for our success in this community. And certainly 2022 has had its challenges, as we all know, but the way that you guys, the city and the chamber both push our business and just in general small businesses in this community, and you guys know what it takes to run a city. So you guys, many props to you. It's just as much a testament for us to win this to you guys as it is to us. So we appreciate everything you guys do for us.
Jeff, we have a little certificate here that you can hang in your shop. Thank you, sir. And we appreciate what you do here in the city. I know we've had several functions at your place. They're always gracious. They always welcome us. Coffee with the cop, coffee with the councilman, all those different things that we've had. They always do a great job. We're proud to have you in the city. Thank you. Appreciate it.
We do have a video presentation for
volume? Are we supposed to ad lib or? Those snacks look good. And we have some of that too.
We do also have a sample of our pastries as well over here, especially our new sugar Belgian waffles and 4 different sauces, including our in-house made berry sauce.
We're going to take a break after we swear in the chief, and we'll sample them all at that time. What's?
Maybe a little over half done, but just, this is our chef and our general manager, Chef Jules.
What? You guys came up with a sandwich. You guys came up with a sandwich, and I can never remember the name of it. But
Good morning, Charlie.
the toasty, that is excellent. And if you go to Jitters, try the toasty. It's excellent. You guys came up with that sandwich, right? Very good. It's, yeah. There's not another sandwich like it, and it's great. We love it. So very good.
There are a lot of great breakfast places in the city of Del City for sure. And I know people rarely come into our shop for coffee and teas, but just keep in mind, she's one of the very few, licensed chefs that we have in the city, and she happens to be working at the coffee shop.
Very good. All right. Rashana, are you?
Yeah,
We're done? Okay. We're going to take a break after we swear in the chief. He's got some cake that he's going to cut. We all like blue cake, so very good. All right, let's move on. Item number 8, presentation, swearing in of the Del City Chief of Police. Discussion, consideration, possible action, or approve receiving a presentation by Mayor Easton to swear in Lloyd Berger as the new Del City Chief of Police. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve receiving a presentation to swear in Del City Police Chief Lloyd Berger.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Mooney.
Aye.
Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. The motion carries. We are now moving to the presentation. You nervous, Lloyd?
A little bit.
No big deal.
Okay.
You're among friends. Well, the ball does. Let's see, I'm gonna let you do the pretty copy,
Okay.
and we'll do the loyalty oath first. There we go.
This one. All right.
If you'll take that, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name,
I, Lloyd A. Berger,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
and the laws of the United States of America
and the laws of the United States of America
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
and the laws of the State of Oklahoma,
and the laws of the State of Oklahoma,
and that I will faithfully discharge,
and that I will faithfully discharge,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
or employment
or employment
during such time
during such time
as I am the Del City Chief of Police.
as I am the Del City Chief of Police.
Very good. Now we're going to do the loyalty oath.
That was all.
I'm sorry, we're going to do the oath of office.
Okay.
You know, these oaths are prescribed by the state of Oklahoma.
They are.
So we're reading what the state of Oklahoma tells us that we do when we swear someone in. Raise your right hand, please. I state your name,
I, Lloyd A. Berger,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Oklahoma,
and the Constitution of the State of Oklahoma,
and that I will not knowingly
and that I will not knowingly
receive directly or indirectly
receive directly or indirectly
any money or other valuable thing
any money or other valuable thing
for the performance or non-performance
for the performance or non-performance
of any act or duty
of any act or duty
pertaining to my office,
pertaining to my office,
other than the compensation allowed by law.
other than the compensation allowed by law.
I further swear
I further swear
that I will faithfully discharge
that I will faithfully discharge
my duties as the Dale City Chief of Police
my duties as the Dell City Chief of Police
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now we got to sign. Grab a pen. You got it. Oh, okay. Here. Oops.
Well, no, let me get you yours.
Okay. You have one?
So, we have,
Oh, that's okay. My name's Jeff. It's okay. If you, I mean, whatever you want to do. And then put an H in it.
okay.
It's like either way. Bring it by. Yes, okay. That sounds good. Thank you. Oh, really?
Yeah, we did all of it that day.
So y'all put the video together?
Yeah, we did. We shot all of it.
That's awesome. So I told Chef Jules, I said, hey, is there any way we can hold that video? Because, so we're doing chocolate covered strawberries for Valentine's Day. Well, we've done it last year. Y'all did such a good job at doing the Valentine's stuff. So I want to put it on our video boards. Because we've got a video option. It's, once you get past the 24 to 30.
Or your, I mean, do you have a
You can just send it to,
because I sent it to her earlier.
just send it to her.
Yeah, she has it.
It'll be fine.
And, I'm gonna send her the rest of the edit.
I can't remember if in the beginning it was that way.
It'd be great. You don't mind if we do this time it's gonna be there on our board?
I started at 370.
I mean, I wanna get the mayor. Where'd he go? He ran away already. Okay.
He won't be mean to you.
Like right here?
Okay, we'll see.
I don't think my diet will support it. I know. I can't believe they don't have donuts without chocolate.
I told the lady from Jitters I need chocolate. Bring chocolate on.
Yeah. Everybody loves chocolate.
Yeah, could definitely do chocolate. I didn't know you needed me to write something up for you. I would have.
Yeah, that's what's in the bio that I.
Is that after Valentine's Day?
Yeah, no, that's when. Yeah, that's
And I kinda like updated that out now.
I've been trying to run around and do everything lately. New Year's, bringing you out, just everything.
Did you
I sent it to the group chat.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I think I missed it.
I have,
Yeah, no, I love the audio, and so
Chris
did
will
he,
take
'cause
care
I
of you.
sent it on to him first thing.
I have faith in him. I'm not a
Did
sweet.
everyone have a computer ready?
I can't do it. I can't do it.
No,
Got that picture out there, standing out in the lobby. Yeah, he's standing right there with Michael. I had to come in, they were being mean to me out there. Maybe I started it. Yeah, I may or may not have started it though. If they put me on a seat, we've got Midville 100 on the 9th of March, and then the 30th is the, but that's, I don't know if Brittany's going to need me to give me a seat or not. Huh? Well, yeah.
send you, will you send it to me? I've got an important meeting tomorrow. I'd love to be able to send this.
Oh, but you'll have these, as soon as she has this ready, you'll make sure they're on Facebook. And this Facebook post, I'm about to post it now. Yeah. And y'all know that. See, there we go. I'll tag y'all in it. I really
Black coffee. I didn't get a nap today. Oh, we will. We'll do everything before. Yeah, we'll do everything, then we'll go to executive. Yep. I wouldn't make everybody sit through that. Let me go find Jeannie. Michael? Didn't you serve up north? I mean, didn't you serve up north in the Coast Guard? Weren't you in the Northern Territory? So what comes to mind? Is there a worse thing than blue teeth? Yep. All right. One more swallow. Everybody ready? We're returning now. We are returning now from the break. Chief, thank you for the cake and the goodie bag. Okay, if everybody's ready, let's move on to item number 9. Monthly update from the Chief of Police. Put him right to work. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve receiving a monthly update from the Chief of Police.
Make a motion to receive an update from the Chief of Police.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Councilman Mooney.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. The motion carried. Your very first update as chief. No pressure.
First of all, I want to say thank you for tonight. Your trust in me, your support, very much appreciated. It's very humbling. I want to say thank you to everybody who come out for this, the officers, any of the personnel, civilians. Very much humbling. Thank you. I will not let you down. All right, what happened last month? We started out, I think mentioned earlier, we had coffee with a cop on Saturday the 21st at Jitters. Good turnout, always good turnout over there. And then on the 26th of January, we had a Del City High School Career Day. We had officers up there, handed out a little bit of swag, got to talk about with some of the high school kids that have an interest in law enforcement, try to swing a few toward law enforcement in the future. So that was a good day up there. Staffing, I've got 4 officers that are currently in the academy, 2 with the Ada Academy and 2 with the Metro Tech Academy. The Ada Academy is pretty much virtual right now, but they'll be going down there for the hands-on stuff. That leaves me with 1 vacancy for a police officer. We're short of being fully staffed. I have somebody I'm looking at directly for that, and I'll know later this week, but I'm pretty much, if I hire him later this week, that'll bring me up to 41 at a full staff. There's not many police departments in the nation or in the state that can tell you that they're at full staff. So we're on the right road there. I received notice today we got our first F-150 police responder on the ground.
Sweet.
So it arrived. I'm going down to pick it up tomorrow. Then I'll have to work on getting it decaled up and lights and that on it, but it's going to be on the ground tomorrow. So happy to see that. 9 more to go and we'll be there. I got also one of my 2 BMW police motorcycles here about 2 weeks ago. It goes to the radio shop tomorrow to get the radios put on it. Once I get that done, the graphics on it, it'll be hitting the road, and I'll have it here at a council meeting for y'all to take a look at also. Very sharp, very nice looking bike. I think the officers are going to really enjoy those. Now that I've officially taken the reins, I want to try to do something here. I've been talking about it with my staff. I want to do an assessment of the police department and where we are and where we want to go. I'm going to ask for a lot of input, not only from yourself, but from the officers out there They're gonna get a survey in the mail. We're working on getting that out. I wanna know where we are, where they think we are, what we need, where we wanna go as far as the officers on that side. I wanna know the same thing from you guys on the horseshoe here. Where are we at? Where do we need to go? And I'm gonna ask the citizens out there to also give me some input. I wanna take all that, collectively come together, make sure we can be on the right page and get us a focus, and I will come back with a written report, hopefully in April, for you, of where we currently are. Hopefully it is good, but if not, I'll tell you it's not good. Where we are at, where we'd like to go, so we can all get there. But I'll have you a written report on where we're currently at and what our goals and everything after I get all this put together. Yes, sir.
So that's an excellent idea. I'm glad you're doing it, and lots of citizens would like to provide input.
Yes.
And so one thought, just trying to get citizen involvement, should we think about maybe putting something out in the water bills or other ways that we can communicate with people?
Like that, yes. Yes. So it's kind of been on my mind the last week or two, and I'm just kind of coming together with it. My staff has been very supportive of it. They're going to be helping me a lot with it. But we want to find out. It's just not my show. It's going to take every one of us over there to get where we're going in the right direction. So that's all I have for today. Again, I really appreciate tonight. It means a lot to me, and I won't let you down.
All right, very good. Thank you, Chief. Item number 10, presentation, Better with Age Fun Day. Discussion, consideration, possible action, approve or deny receiving a presentation on the Better with Age Fun Day to be held at the Dale City Community Center on March 23, 2023, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to receive a presentation on the Better with Age Fun Day.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Councilman Mooney.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. The presentation is now open. Would you please introduce yourself to the city clerk?
Hi, I'm Lisa Sidnor. I'm the Community Development Director for Caregiver Magazine and Better with Age events. Last March, we had a fun day at the Dale City Community Center. Many of you attended, and we appreciate that. Thank you very much. We had 57 exhibitors and over 450 attendees go through in 4 hours. It was packed. One of the good things was we ran out of parking spaces, which was wonderful, but not. So this year we are trying to arrange off-site shuttle for our exhibitors and those attendees who wish to use the shuttle. Will be using the library and Dale Crest Shopping Center as off-site parking. So we will have eliminated that situation, and we hope that we run out of parking spaces there. That would be so cool. It is March the 23rd. We open at 9. It's kind of like going to a house party. You have a favorite couple or a favorite person that when they have a party, you want to go. That's us. Because we have line dancers, we have vocalists, we have piano players, we have flag wavers, we have, you name it, we have it. We like to think of our events as fun, frolic, and facts. The fact is, over 255,000 Oklahomans have self-identified as caregivers. The fact is, it is estimated half of them will predecease the person they're caring for
because they do not take care of themselves. If you've ever been a caregiver, you know. If you've never been a caregiver, you will be. It's just a fact of life. When you think of caregiving, a lot of people think about just daily taking care of a person. But when you are a caregiver, you may be doing the financials for the care. You may be doing the medical, taking them to doctor's appointments. You may be doing the shopping. You may be doing the daily needs. But all of those items fall under caregiving. And to be a caregiver is draining. It is very stressful. And our goal is to provide caregivers and care receivers, because it's not fun being on the other end of that either, tools to help them make it through this situation and to maintain good health and good rapport within the family. We have last year we had 57 vendors, and 85% of them said, sign me up because I want to be there next year. And we already have about 20% new vendors coming in. And when people say, well, I'm not in the medical field, well, okay. Are you a banker? Are you a lawyer? Are you someone who does personal shopping? There are so many ways that a business touches caregivers, whether they are grandparents raising grandchildren. I think every grandparent has been there, at least for a short time. Or foster families. Foster families are desperately needed in Oklahoma, sadly. All of these come together to share. I want you to know Oklahoma has the most incredible programs, organizations, nonprofits, agencies. Our state agencies have amazing programs that people don't know about. I was in a meeting the other day with like 40 people, business people, and I said, well, the first thing you would do is call 211, and everybody said, what's 211? And I'm like, how do you not know what 211 is? But for me, because of the way that I've spent 50 years in nonprofit service in Oklahoma, 211 was just, it was a miracle when it came online. It gave us a way to be able to share so much with our constituents and our clients. But people don't know about it. So if they don't know, they can't use it. That is what we want to do. We want to educate them. We want to make it fun while we do it. And I'm here tonight to ask you if there's any opportunity for us to present to a group and encourage attendance or encourage businesses to become part of this. I would love to speak to them or to give magazines, whatever it is that we need to do. On page 16 of the magazine that you were given, or 14, I'm sorry, of the magazine you were given, is a column called Ask Lisa. Funny about that, that's me. But anyway, it has my phone number and my email address. And I do answer my phone except when I'm in city council meetings. And if you would look on page 40, gosh, I lost my place. 45, I think. It is a, wrong page. There is a page in this magazine that has the full ad for the, yes, thank you. It's page 37. And on there also, you will find email addresses and phone numbers for LaShanya Nash, who is the owner and publisher of Caregiver Magazine and also the owner of Better with Age Events. And we're happy to do whatever we can to help. We are so excited about the second year, and we want to thank Del City. I have to tell you, I have never, in all my years, worked with a city that actually worked with me. I cannot tell you how easy they have made everything, from the people at the community center to JD and his staff. Everyone has been amazing and just easy, and I thank you so much, and thank you for the opportunity to be here, and I guess I'll see you soon.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, and I'm glad to see that you're better. Yeah. Thank you so much. Please come and see us.
Thank you, Lisa. Move on to item number 11, multifunction printer for human resources. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve or deny a contract with RK Black Incorporated to lease a Ricoh IMC 2500 multifunction printer copier for use by the Human Resources Department for the amount of $219 per month plus service agreement for $88.02 per quarter, which covers all parts, toner, labor, travel, supplies, as well as 1,800 black and white images per month with a per image cost for overages. Said contract to terminate June 30, 2023, and is anticipated for 36 months ending July 30, 2026, subject to yearly renewal with council approval. Authorize mayor to endorse same. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion to approve as written, authorize mayor to endorse same.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Councilman Mooney.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. The motion carries. Item number 12 is Oklahoma County project work order estimate for Southeast 35th Street. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve or deny a project work order estimate from Oklahoma County for street repairs done by Oklahoma County for the reconstruction of Southeast 35th Street from Holiday Avenue to Vicky Drive in an amount not to exceed $60,247.11. Commencement of said work subject to receipt and approval by the council of a specific mutual cooperation agreement between the city and Oklahoma County. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion that we, do I need to read the whole thing?
If you want.
Okay. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve or deny the project work order estimate from Oklahoma County to street repairs done by Oklahoma County for the reconstruction of Southeast 35th from Holiday Avenue to Vicky Drive in the amount not to exceed $60,247.11. Commencement of said work subject to receipt and approval by council of a specific mutual cooperation agreement between the city and Oklahoma County, requested by Public Works.
Is your motion to approve or deny?
Approve.
Approve. I would entertain a second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Yes, sir. Mike, could you come up and explain how we came up with this street to get repaired?
Sorry, would you repeat that? I didn't hear you.
How did we choose this street out of all the other bad streets? To choose that this was the #1 priority in the city?
It was a group effort. It was not just my decision, but multiple people had decided that this was probably one of the worst that was in need of repair.
So a group effort, are you saying it was a collaboration between someone at City Hall and somebody in Public Works, or what's
Yes,
the group? It's a fair question. I was wondering the same thing. How did you pick, what made you pick 35th Street? Maybe it's Jackie's and she yells more. I know she's been griping about that street for years.
I've actually called it in and reported it a couple of times.
Yeah.
Right, and so that's my issue with this, is that in my 8 years now on the council, I have a whole list that has been in, and unfortunately, it sounds like it's been lost. Now, and I keep asking for you guys to come up with the whole list of everybody's projects that's been turned in. And so without going through the list of things like the approach where you come off Bryant onto any one of the streets into Hartsdale.
Bryant Street.
And so, but Bryant included, but Bryant's a whole another issue. But you know, it's the approaches onto those things, or the different streets, or whether it's 35th or whether it's Epperly going to the post, from the post office and around and into the mailbox, because I've been waiting for the mailbox to get fixed, to where we have a concrete spot where, as you're driving up, that pothole that just keeps coming would be gone. And we have never had a project list of this. And so what I've heard is I think that the list has been lost in this part. And so what I would like to do is to have a discussion about what is priorities to do this. Now, I want it to get done. It would directly benefit me. It's only a couple of blocks from my father's house, and it would be great to have it done. But it's not a street that is a thoroughfare. It's a side street. Now, I actually had 35th going up from Sunny Lane up to Woodford done.
Yep.
Because once you get off Sunny Lane, then you can do all the north-south streets to get to your main cross streets.
So the question is really, what is the selection process? And I'd kind of like to get a little bit of an advance notice, like say, hey, we're looking at 35th Street, and we're looking at I don't know, what was the other one? 22nd Street, and say this is what we're looking at, and kind of give a chance for the council to put some input on this. I'm not aware of anybody on the council that had input on this.
Yes, we had a list from about 7 or 8 years ago that's the list you're referring to, about yay thick. It was a big, thick list. I cannot find the list. I've been looking for 2 days for this list. It was put together actually by
I remember
Bill Graham and Mark Edwards are the ones who put it together.
I remember when they requested the information for that. That has been quite a while. So perhaps we could do that for the next round of streets that are coming up. Maybe we would get a chance to see what the possibilities are and have some input on it, because as it stands, I'm not aware of anybody on the council except for Jackie.
Whoa. I also requested Southeast 22nd.
Oh, now I see.
So I knew that
Where
this
do you
is
think I
coming, but
learned
it
it
is also
from?
a street that goes from Sunny Lane to Epperly Heights School. And we talked about this before. Any roads that are around schools, they need to take priority, just for the fact that buses and cars are carrying our children in and out of residential areas. I think they need to be safe streets.
So on that one, it's a narrower street, and I was like, well, we're not getting as good of a deal because it's such a longer one that we're going to get done. But my point being is that maybe we want to put sidewalks down 22nd Street instead of having all the kids in this tiny narrow road walking to school. And there's all these different projects, and there's a limited amount of funds, and it's just not, I don't think it's the best fiduciary part of us to not have a bigger picture of where we're spending our funds. One of the thoughts, Mike, and for city manager and for your department heads, is there's a program called like Microsoft Projects. Okay, and so if we were to get Microsoft Projects to all the department heads, to where we constantly bombard our city manager. And so if we could have you be able to go and put all these things that's always in there, so in that way you kind of have a list of all these requests of ours, and then you could always have a status and have everybody updating it and have that as an easy reference to go back to.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I really appreciate you doing all the work to this, but on the other side, I'm like going, why are we wasting the county's time and all your time? Because, you know, I'm still waiting for the sidewalks on 44th Street to be done, and there's all these other projects, and I'm just, you know, I want to be the most efficient with your time and efforts.
Okay.
But
And
it
I would
really
just
isn't
like-
a waste of time. I mean, it's a street that's in disrepair that needs to be fixed. Sometimes you have to go slowly and do one street at a time. We can't do all the streets all over the town in one lump sum. It would cost us a fortune.
And on the
I
other
don't,
side.
I don't think, okay, excuse me just a second. I don't think that's the question. Nobody is protesting doing 35th Street. Nobody's protesting doing 22nd Street. What we're saying is we'd like a little heads up about what's coming down the pike. If you're going to redo 3 streets in the city, give us a little heads up notice. Yeah, shoot us an email or something. Just give us a heads up, because we don't see this until it's appearing on the council agenda. That's a little late to, you know, discuss or consider. So I'm just saying, keep us in the loop. That's what we're asking. That's the crux of what we're trying to find out here.
And I think it's a little bit on just like budget-wise, is you know, just trying to figure out where are we going to budget, you know, our money for streets or
Yeah.
neighborhood improvements, you know, to try to do this. So one of the thoughts is if the list really is gone, then I'll go back out and we'll come back up with a new list.
Yeah, do a new survey.
Do a new list, and I think that all of us need to.
Yeah, let everybody survey the streets in their ward and then turn it in, and then, you know, we can kind of look and discuss. But this stuff, if it just shows up on the agenda and we've not had any discussion at all, it feels like someone's taken the choice away from the council because we have no input on it.
Yes, sir, I understand.
These are
what you're saying.
primarily delivered on a complaint basis from the individual council people. I know I receive them from, I have one on queue for you, sitting over off of 42nd? Yeah. Correct. We're gathering quotes on that. That's how these come together, is by council request.
And so the issue, there it goes, is that, of course, we've already, you know, I've turned in all these things all over the years, and so you're just expecting, well, some point it's going to get going, but, so, I think that, you know, perhaps we should just take another look and try to figure out what our priorities are.
That's an absolute great idea.
And based upon what I think is traffic flow, you know, how important it is, and then, you know, and then condition. And so,
I've tried to explain to people, because I'll have constituents come up to me and says, you know, why can't we get this done? I said, well, you have to remember, we have 4 council people, and they are turning them into one guy. And I assume they go on a list unless they're an emergency of some sort, and they get ticked off as funds are available as well as they come up. So I don't know if I'm wrong on that, but that was sort of what I thought was going on.
Mhm. I think if we could just get a little bit of advance notice, just a message out to the council, hey, we're looking at doing 35th Street, blah, blah, blah. Give us a chance to just kind of look at it and go, yeah, it really needs it. Okay. That's all I'm looking for, is just a little bit of notice about what's going on.
Yes, sir, I can do that.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And I know 35th is not really a main highway or main thoroughfare, but it is a main drag to Vicky from, since we've done 35th from Holiday over to Sunny Lane. It's kind of a straight shot in there to get you right into the heart of the Del Air neighborhood.
Okay, any further discussion on item 12? You got one right there, Ron? Would you step up to the podium, please? Spell your name for the City Clerk? Troub. President Danwall here.
Yeah, I'm Ron McCall, 3403 South Woodford, Del City. As far as 35th Street is concerned, in that area, or from Epperly to Vicky, to Councilwoman Mooney's point, any street coming off of Sunny Lane going to Vicky becomes a thoroughfare during any rush hour, whether it's noon or from 3 o'clock to 7 o'clock. That portion of 35th that we're talking about is in bad condition.
Yeah. Ron, we're not disputing that the road needs to be fixed. Nobody's disputing that. What we're saying is we would like a little more advance notice.
I can understand that. I fully agree. I'm just asking you not to table that.
We're not tabling
construction
anything.
just because you want a list.
No, sir. No, we're just trying to get a little information.
I understand that.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, thank you.
I suspect it's still going to pass. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further? We have another question? Yes. State your name for the city clerk, please.
Claudia Brown, 3340 Diller Place. I did like the idea of sidewalks. With this amount that has been proposed for that repair, does that include any sidewalks or any extra space for bike riders or for walkers at all?
Nope.
Would that ever be a consideration? Do you guys know how much more that would be? Was that even a possibility?
Anytime you add sidewalks, like say, if you did a sidewalk down Sunny Lane from 44th to 29th, a mile, you're roughly looking at about $1 million a mile on a sidewalk. They're concrete. Concrete is infinitely more expensive than asphalt.
And any discussion on or ideas of how we could get any kind of grants for sidewalks?
There
I know
are
that
some
there
grants through ACOG available,
Yeah,
but
it's
you're
in
looking
process.
5 years out to get the funding.
Okay.
And the area in question here around 35th Street, a lot of those, we don't have the right-of-way and easement through there.
How close
It's
is
very
that to
limited.
the school? Is that very close to the school? No?
No.
Is the one.
Yeah.
The other school,
Mm-hmm.
it's about 5 blocks away.
Yeah. Because there are several youth that walk that area. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Mooney.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. The motion carries. Item number 13 is Oklahoma County Project Work Order Estimate for Southeast 22nd Street. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve or deny a project work order estimate from Oklahoma County for street repairs done by Oklahoma County for the reconstruction of Southeast 22nd Street from Sunny Lane Road to Lariat Drive in an amount not to exceed $85,470.28. Commencement of said work subject to receipt and approval by council of a specific mutual cooperation agreement between the city and Oklahoma County. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve reconstruction repairs of Southeast 22nd from Sunny Lane Road to Lariat Drive.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Mooney.
Aye.
Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. The motion carries. Item number 14 is surplus items. Discussion, consideration, possible action to declare, deny the items listed in Exhibit A to the council agenda as surplus to the city's needs. Authorize final disposition of these items as approved by the city manager. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion, we declare the items listed in Exhibit A of the council agenda as surplus to the city's needs. Authorize final disposition of these items as approved by the city manager.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Mooney.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye, the motion carries. Item number 15, lease agreement motocross. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve or approve with modifications or deny entering into an updated 12-month lease agreement with Motocross JT Power Sports LLC for the property located at 4601 East Reno Avenue, Del City, Oklahoma, 73115. Authorize mayor to endorse same. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion, we deny the renewal of the 12-month lease agreement with Motocross JT Power Sports LLC for the property located at 4601 East Reno Avenue. Authorize mayor to endorse same.
Kyle Gandy has made a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Can we have them come up and discuss numbers of riders that came here?
I believe, Jeremy, would you like to address the council? Spell your name for the city clerk, please.
Sure. My name's Jeremy Thomas, Jeremy Thomas. We were open 27 weekends in the 2022 schedule. A definite learning year over there. We've been doing this for 13 years now. Well, not only at this location, but at other locations. There's a lot of me that thought coming down here would be doing just the exact same thing we've always been doing. That hasn't necessarily been the case. I've kind of walked on eggshells around here because I am sensitive to the fact that there's people that don't want us here. I don't know what to tell those people anything other than what we've already told them. I think we're doing a good thing for the community. I know we're doing a good thing for our sport. I know when I go to other racetracks and I see people who would have never been introduced to this sport, but since we're doing this in a metro area, they've been introduced to it. It's not the business we even thought it would be. We thought it would be our existing customers coming in, and we have been an introductory to motocross, and if they would have us, we really want to lean into that this year. We have our regulars that come and ride, but what I'm most proud of is the new people we've brought to the industry and to the hobby. And so, yeah, again, we had 4 races with over 300 entries. That's not just total people on property. That's just racers. So you had their families, the spectators. I'm aware of the neighborhood that opposed us, and we've had a mixed bag there. We've had people from that neighborhood come in. We've invited them in, have a good day, come out, see what we're doing. Some of them all about it. Some of them stand at the fence and scream at me. So I get it, and I'm sensitive to that. It hurts my feelings that I'm hurting their feelings. But this is the business we're in, and we try to be as unintrusive as possible. We open 48 hours a month. We have to make a full-time income there in 48 hours a month. And if you have that, I'm not asking for more. I am asking for the summers to move those times around, but I guess we're not that far yet. So,
You go back to the numbers. You say you have 300 entrants.
300 entries for motocross racers. So I also own the
So
Oklahoma.
those people come with families.
They come with families.
What do you estimate per race then? How many people are you bringing into Del City?
At the big races, which I consider anytime we do over 200 a pretty good sized race, you can double the amount of people plus the racers. So we're doing 900 when you have 300 people there. And, most of them, there's some mid-Del people, not a lot of really Del City, but we're drawing a lot of people to the town.
So you're saying on a big race, you're bringing in over 900 people to the community?
Correct. We did that about 4 times last year.
Times 4, okay.
A lot of
How
our-
about on a small?
So when we have our 100 entry races, we have about 200 to 250 people there. And we run a lot of those.
And
just
how many
100
would that
entry
be?
races. I'm saying we have about 250 total people there on those days.
Yes, how many times
Be
Would you-
20
at least one of those a
23. If
month.
there was 27, that'd be 23 times.
23 times, is that?
No, you're misunderstanding because we don't just race all the time. Sometimes we open to just ride, the weather's good, people
So
wanna,
fewer than 23?
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't wanna lie about the numbers, I wanna tell
Just-
you what we're doing.
Just ballpark us. I'm just trying to get an idea of how many people.
We try to race once a month, and 4 of those were 300, so we're saying the other 8 times is, we're doing that. And then for when we're riding, we try to every good weather weekend, which last year we fought the weather more than normal. There's typically 100 to 150 people there on a Saturday and Sunday, just hanging out with their family.
So I'm just doing some rough numbers here. I'm just trying to get an idea of the benefit to the community.
Sure.
And it looks to me like you're talking about maybe 6,000 souls, 6,000 noses, let's say it that way. You're bringing in about 6,000 noses a year.
And there's some of that, whether this is right or wrong to me. I didn't go as big as we wanted to go the first year. I wanted to kind of the city to get used to what we're doing and not just culture shock those people over there. I am a sitting board member of the Oklahoma State Championship Motocross Series. These are 600 rider races. I have one in Stillwater, and I haven't brought it over. I haven't asked for one here yet because I want to make sure the city's ready for it. The city wants it.
Well, you know, Jeremy, I've gone to several races. I've seen you there and seen the crowds. Mostly I like the food trucks.
Sure.
Food trucks are nice. But you're taking a piece of property that had nothing happening, and most of the time we didn't have time to mow it. Is that an accurate statement, Mike?
Yeah, we had it for hay there for a couple of years.
That,
I think we have the place looking pretty good. We cleaned up Vicky
my
Road
only
a lot.
my only complaint was I'd like for the Reno Avenue piece to look better.
Yeah. And you
And
called
that's
me on
kinda-
once, and
I
took
called you
care of
once
it
and you got out there
immediately.
quick.
In fact,
But
I've hired a guy that just keeps that picked up twice a week.
There's plenty of room to keep improving on the appearances on Reno.
And
And I think that was an item that kind of helped us in the first time, was we were talking about cleaning up the Reno Street, because it just looked so tacky.
The actual motion that was made during that first meeting was to pave that entrance. I remember that being a modification that Ms. Finch made to that
Pave
that
the
agreement.
Reno
So,
entrance,
I'd like,
is that right?
I would
Yes.
like to discuss that, is we've ended up with a new entrance off of Vicky to alleviate all the concerns. If you remember, the
Traffic.
biggest concern, I do not use the Reno Road entrance. You could take that gate out as far as my needs. We have an asphalt entrance off of Vicky there.
And that's just in the interest of keeping traffic from
When we have
stopping
a
in
big
front of.
crowd, I mean, if, one of the biggest complaints was all this traffic, when we're gonna back them up on Reno Road. Well, most of our people now come down 10th, turn onto Vicky.
Come down Vicky.
That nightmare of a stretch there on north of the railroad tracks.
That tests the shock absorbers.
And, I mean, I've tried to alleviate concerns like that by doing things like that.
Yeah, all right.
Well, one of the things about that concrete part that Mr. Candy was saying is that was particularly put in to try to get the gravel and the mud off of the tires before they pulled back out onto Reno and caused
Problem there, yeah.
a slippery mud fest out there. So,
Yeah.
so
So
that's
you-
what that was. So by moving it over to the Vicky side, that at least gets it off the main road and onto the side spot.
Yep.
That was our thoughts on it all along, and we didn't back people up on Reno.
Right.
That was
Yep.
my biggest concern. And if you try to pull out of there, it's kind of uphill coming out, and then you have those trees on that little corner lot that doesn't belong to the city.
Yeah.
You can't see it. It's
Blind
not
spot
safe.
there.
So
Yep.
that's why we're
So
doing
did
that.
you
I
have any
understand it.
camper? Did you have any campers out there?
Yes, so I'm a little surprised on not as many as we thought. So again, I own the Oklahoma Winter Series, and we'll have 50, 60 campers on one of our winter races that are our 300 entry races. They don't have to camp to come here, or if they're coming to Oklahoma City, they want to go stay in a hotel and go downtown, which the hotels love. But we'll have 10, 11 campers on a race weekend over there. So.
You know, for the first year, the first time starting out green, brand new, 6,000 people coming into city of Dale City, there's value to that. And there's also the hope that you're going to improve and bring more people in the next 12 months.
Well, again, right or wrong, I thought that maybe the appropriate way to do this was to ease these citizens into, I didn't want to culture shock these people who are already
And just so everyone's aware, I've received a few phone calls, but not near as many as I would expect to see. My reason for denial actually comes more for a financial reason than anything. We've talked about not wanting to be landlords, and over the last year, 10 days late on 2 different occasions, and more than 15 days late on 5 occasions for rent. We haven't received a payment for December or January.
So it was my understanding that my lease was no good after November, and we've been waiting to renew it. I had a 12-month lease, November to November. We've been shut down since November 14th, Mr. Gandy.
So has Melissa or JD, have you, either of you talked to Mr.?
We had a phone call that was a group phone call, and that was my understanding that everybody was aware of that, and we were waiting.
Who was on the group phone call?
I don't remember. Mr. Gandy called me, said he didn't have my phone number. I gave it to me, and I said, Mr. Gandy, I'm sorry. And I spoke with JD.
JD?
I think Mr. Cantrell might have been there.
I'd like to, I'm sorry, I don't want to rush you, but if you're about done, I'd like to hear from Mr. Hawk for a minute.
Sure.
Are you done?
Oh, yeah, I mean, there's some things I want to talk about.
Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
If it's the time for that. So,
I understand.
I'd like to clarify one thing, which is part of this. I would like to question one thing, and I would like to discuss the one change I have for the year. My clarification would be on JD has sent me paperwork about the need for a roll-off. There's a trash solution there. I don't think that's it. We'd like to have dumpsters.
Just regular dumpsters?
I did speak to one man at Public Works who just came over one day, and I was asking him about that. And he said because there's not a concrete over there, and that was his understanding that we couldn't have concrete over there, that he didn't think we could have them. The deal with the roll-off is it would take me 6 months to fill up a roll-off. When our general day is just opening up to the public and let them ride, I keep trash bags under all the trash barrels. When we leave, we take those bags with us. Right now, we've been just getting
So
rid
you're
of them at
carrying
home.
the trash out with you?
We are. I don't think anybody can say if there's a trash issue over there that it's me. I think we all know Vicky Road's a dump. I even talked with Brittany one time. I said, why doesn't the city just leave a roll-off over here? I've got skid steers, grapples. I can pick up Vicky Road for the city. I didn't mean to do that. As long as I'm talking with my hands. As long as I got a place to put it.
Yeah.
They're dumping refrigerators, couches. I'd have got nowhere to put those if I go get those. And I really don't mind doing it. It's an eyesore to me and my customers coming in.
Sure.
And if the city wanted, it was my understanding after talking to her, she just didn't think they had enough to do that. So that was...
The thing about the dumpster, I mean, that's something that can be worked out. That's going to be a smaller issue. First, we have to make sure whether we have a lease or not, and then
Sure.
from there, I would like to ask, Mike, is that true if you don't have a concrete pad, you can't have a dumpster?
That is correct. For the truck will sink in picking up the dumpster because they're side loads.
Oh, so you want a concrete pad big enough for a truck to sit on? I thought you were just talking about.
I don't know. I'm trying to understand.
Just on
as well.
dirt, it'll rust the bottoms of the dumpsters out too. We got a bunch
Can-
of surplus here tonight.
Sure.
All
Can,
the time they do it. It's mainly for the truck, to keep the truck from tipping with the side load.
Gotcha. That's a detail that probably needs to be worked out with our flood control people to pour a slab where he could have a dumpster. Is that something that could be worked?
It would require a couple of things if you want to see that happen.
Is it possible?
Anything is possible. I should say through FEMA, but no, that's not the right
All right.
answer. But yeah,
If,
It is floodplain that we have to,
I understand. I'm just asking what's possible and what's not. So if it's possible for him to pour a concrete slab so he can have a dumpster, then maybe that's something we can work out. And we're not going to address that in the lease right now. That's
So
not
I-
something, so
okay.
that's something
Um,
down the road.
I said I had three things. I had one I wanted some explanation on, one
Okay.
I would like to explain, which comes back to what Mr. Gandy said. Our lease expired in November, and our insurance expires at the same time. When we started shopping around for insurance this year, our original quote we received was double. We've never had an insurance claim. I've done this business for 13 years. I was shocked, and then I talked to somebody in the insurance business, and they said, as long as you're willing to pay it, they have no reason to charge any less. So for the first time, I started shopping around for motocross track insurance. And despite what I've been told, there is more than 3 places that will offer it to us. So we have an affordable solution for us. I say the term lot of money is relative, but the biggest check I write each year is for motocross track insurance. When that lease expired with no other lease negotiated yet, I have to write 1 check a year for our insurance. We have to pay for it up front. It's going to be $11,000 this year. For me to write that check with no lease in place, I was kind of in a bad spot. Is it some planning issues on my? Yeah, I should have thought about. It was the first time here. I should have thought about September. We should have been discussing lease renewal. Then that came up. I'm sorry, I almost said Gandy again, but Mr. Hawk, I've been in communication with him for about 6 weeks now. I got COVID, and I've been sick for the first time in my whole life for more than 2 days. And so there's been some delay in getting this. And guys, we shut it down in November when our lease expired and our insurance expired. I did have the option of buying insurance by the weekend and continuing to operate. I did not feel like that was me living up to what I said I'd do. I said I would provide insurance for every day that we have that lease. So we just let the lease expire until we could get here today and rediscuss this. I have insurance lined up. If we did a March to March lease, next year in December, we would be discussing maybe renewing this and being in front of it instead of a little behind it. Mr. Gandy's not wrong. I've been late more than I should, mostly from not being here in Del City. I live in Stillwater. I need to do a better job on that. There's just no excuse. So I've waited till when we've had an event or when we had something go on, I stop by and pay the city. And again, that's on me. I take responsibility for that.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. JD, I am asking a question, and it pertains to your economic development side of your brain. I know you have several segments and several hats that you wear. Is there value to the city of Del City to bring 6,000 people and potentially 10,000 people the next year? Is there value in that to the city?
Is there value in tourism of our city? Absolutely.
Is the number 6,000 and potentially 10,000 a year, is that something worth considering? That's what I'm asking. What's the impact? How important to the city is it to have an extra 6,000 to 10,000 people in it on weekends?
It would depend on if we wanted to go a conservative estimate of 20% of those people would spend funding in our town. Coming in off of Reno, coming in off of 10th Street, for example, there is zero economic benefit to us coming in off of 10th Street because the area to get back on the highway of
developed.
I-35 is Oklahoma City sales tax. Not that we're sales tax oriented, but I am because it's my job.
Sure.
So that would be my only concern there. But if they were to stay, go to our Walmart, stay in our hotels, anything of
Buy
that nature,
gas.
yes, that would be where the benefit would come into those particular tourism dollars.
Okay. All right, thank you. Is there any more discussion on this?
Yeah, so I would still like to know who approved the not paying rent for November, December, January, actually. There was a group phone call that Mr. Cantrell was on. Were you on a phone call that involved that? Mr. Hawk?
I know I've contacted multiple times to get him on an agenda. So I believe it was myself, the mayor, and Mr. Cantrell. I believe the three of us called him because I believe it was because his number changed.
The three of us called him one day, but there was no answer. I was never on a three-way call, we attempted to make the call, but there was no answer the time that I was on the phone. So as to
You can speak,
who
yeah.
approved it, I'm not aware that anybody approved it.
And I will say this in JD's defense. JD, after we had this phone call, he was calling me, or he might have emailed me 3 weeks later about the rent. And I emailed him back shocked, and I said, per this phone conversation, I thought we discussed, do I want to renew this lease now because I don't have insurance yet, or do we want to wait and see if I can get the insurance before we renew it?
So
My
that was a
lease
discussion
expired-
you had with Mr. Hawk?
Correct. My lease expired in November. I don't,
So you were waiting to find coverage.
it did. I don't understand why you're asking me about December, January.
Well, so in any other industry, if you're in commercial real estate or if you have homes, I mean, we're talking about renewing a lease. This would be a whole new lease at this point. You have your equipment stored out there. We are a free storage facility for you
My
currently.
equipment is not out there.
You have a water truck, there's an
You're right, my water
F-350 or
truck is there.
F-250, you have garbage cans, you have the, what I assume is, there was a shed out there, but that's gone. There's something at the start entrance. I mean, you have a lot of equipment out there currently, so.
So I guess when I said I'm trying to clarify something earlier, I guess I'm trying to say that I need the city to understand, and when we're talking about next year, I'm trying to bring this up, is I cannot operate on a month-to-month because I have to buy $11,000 worth of insurance at a time. And if I go in December and buy $11,000 insurance, and then I come in here and you turn my lease down the next, that is devastating for me. That's a lot of money to me. It might not be a lot of money to everybody. I'm asking everybody to understand that I can't operate on a month-to-month. I just can't.
So I think this goes to, we're not property managers, we're not landlords, and I don't think we have any business continuing to lease this property. If, I know in the current lease, we can charge up to 18, is it 18%, Ms. Palmer? Yeah, and to which we charge none of that, if I'm correct, right? Okay, so we've given a lot of grace and leeway for the first year, which I understand. Everyone has their starting up time. I get that.
I don't understand what you're trying to say.
What I'm saying is
1.8% of
1.5%. Each time that you were late of the lease, we could have charged you a late fee of 1.5%.
I've taken responsibility for that. If you feel I owe that, I'll pay it.
I think it's a little late for that, but my question is do we want to continue to lease? We've spent $48,000 on the fence that surrounds that property. I'm not sure at which point we will make that back, but it's way down the road at this point, and I don't know
Kyle,
if this is the...
Kyle, have you ever owned a business? Have you ever owned a small business?
I've got 3 currently.
Really? What are they?
An aesthetics business, a website business, and a graphic design business.
Interesting. I didn't know that. Okay. Small businesses struggle the first year. Most of them go out of business the first year.
Yeah.
And they struggle. We spend money and time trying to bring businesses, to bring tourism, to bring visitors to the city of Del City. And this is something that's kind of like a bird in hand. We're already getting 6,000 people a year. And I agree, he should have paid his rent on time. I agree that he should have paid for something for the storage of the equipment down there. But sometimes you have to look beyond some of these things and look at the big picture. What's it going to be for us for the next 10 years?
I just want to know who made the choice to allow the leeway and to not have a payment received for December and January.
You're looking for somebody to point a finger at and
No,
say...
I know that Melissa didn't, and I know that Mr. Hawk didn't. I assume.
And you know that I didn't.
So I'm wondering...
It's possible nobody made the decision to allow him to coast 3 months. It might be that it just happened during a time when everybody was busy, and it kind of slid under the wire. That's a real possibility there.
Okay.
So it's unfortunate that it's happened. I believe he is contrite about it happening. It's unfortunate that his insurance expired And I completely understand why he wouldn't want to buy insurance when the lease is hanging in the balance, hanging up in the air. And I guess being a small businessman, that's where my sympathy comes from. Most small businesses fail in the first year. I see potential in this thing where it could really benefit the citizens of Dell City. There's a lot of potential there. And I feel like if we deny this lease at this time, we're not taking the gamble on the future. We're saying, no, by golly, he missed 3 months, shut him down. That's what you're saying. And I don't think that's fair. I think a first-year business has problems, and I think we ought to give him a chance. Next year, if he does the same thing next year, then by golly, don't renew the lease.
But are the citizens of Dell City and the council and the city of Dell City, I mean, are we property managers at this point? We've said over and over that we do not want to be in the business of...
Yes, that's why you're taking that from where we're trying to sell some property. We do not want to sell him that property, not at this time. It is tied in with our, how is it tied to the waste plant, Mike?
At this point, it's not.
Oh, it's not?
If the land's for sale, I have a gentleman who said he would put up the money, and he'll lease it to us directly. The Oklahoma Honda and Suzuki shop will buy the land as long as it's fairly priced.
I know that guy. Well,
Guys,
there's a potential opportunity right there to sell the property.
I'm asking people to understand that my time and my investment in that, you can't change the law. It's 1 year lease. I mean, that's how y'all have to do it. But it sure affects how I do business when I have to come fight for my life every year. I mean, it just does.
So
I don't think the fight would be the same if the rent had been in on time and we hadn't lapsed for 3 months.
Actually,
that would have been a whole different
There
scenario.
were a couple of occasions that we
Mr.
had to
right.
mow as well.
So, Mr. Gandy, the thought that you have seems like a very valid one, especially as a landlord.
Yeah.
Except, the problem is that we're a city government, and guess what happens in July and August and June, June, July, August for the city? Our whole meetings are going to be filled with contracts that have to be renewed. So my question is, why didn't we have this on the agenda in October, seeing how we knew it was coming due in November, so that we could get this thing done in November?
That's what I'm asking us
And
to
so,
do next year.
yeah,
if
so,
we continue.
so,
So you
yes,
could say it fell down on both sides.
so not only did it fall down on both sides, he can't do anything without it being on this part. We could have gone ahead and renewed it, and we could have had our side signed. It's a mutual consent, but he can't go and get it thrown onto the agenda. I can't get it put onto the agenda. So, Ms. Palmer, would you say that without us renewing the lease, is there any expectation for payment of rent?
Well, I can tell you that I've asked many times for this to be on the agenda because I knew it was expiring, and for every time we tried to set it, people were unavailable. So that it has been watched, and it needed to be taken care of. And if we are going to renew it, and which I don't know, there are some changes that I would like to make, because as we know, we've already lapsed, so this would not be a renewal at this point. It's going to be probably a new one, mostly the same terms, but a few different.
As I recall, I was thinking when we made this deal, it was a 1 year contract pending reappraisal and so we failed to do the reappraisal in a timely manner. And I can imagine the shock when his insurance was up. I mean, I wouldn't want to pay $11,000 and not know if I had a contract.
It was initially $22,000.
Okay.
I did not
Whatever
know
it
we were
was,
in a
but I
position
thought
to
the
even
whole
renew.
thing pended renegotiations and relooking at all of it, how it's worked, how it's affected our land and property. And I think that's a little unfair to try to put a nail in it right now if we didn't do our part either.
Yeah.
I think Ms. Palmer said the key words there is that we have been trying, and we had been trying. Not sure where the ball got dropped, but I assume that it was probably trying to get in contact with Jeremy, if I'm not mistaken.
I have not been contacted about getting on the agenda until after it was expired, and it was soon. And then I did get sick, and I did push this out 2 meetings. I was sick for 4 weeks. First time in my whole life I've been sick for more than 2 days. But that is the first time that and again, if there was a misunderstanding with him, I mean, you got to look at it from where I'm seeing it. My lease is expired, and I haven't been offered a new one yet. And I don't get to do business month to month. I understand you don't want me here. I get it.
So one of the concerns was he was late with his payment. So one thought would be is to put in a $100 late fee, which would be 10%. If you go past that date, I bet you that would encourage him to get the check in the mail or set up an auto payment or whatever else we could possibly do.
Can you do that?
So.
The contract has in 1.5% right now, but because it has lapsed, there are a couple terms that need to be changed, and we can incorporate that. We do have, some of our contracts have $100 a day late fee.
Hmm. Well, let me ask this. Where we're at right now, we can't just renew a lease. Is that what you're telling us? Or can we renew this with modification, or do we have to start completely over? What are you telling us?
Well, it could be renewed with modifications if that's what the council wants, but there are a couple terms that I think need to be changed in there that I didn't anticipate it would be so long before we would get this on the agenda and for the payments to be so late. So I think those need to be automatic termination clauses. If he's not going to be timely after 30 days, it's going to be terminated for cause with no further notice. So it puts the ball in his court to be timely with his payments and to make sure that the lease gets renewed. We usually have at least 30, if not 60 days notice that the person that's leasing comes to us and asks, are we renewing? And we have communication, and we couldn't get this with him, is my understanding.
It's just not something I knew I needed to do. I'm sorry.
Well, we're all exploring new ground here. All right. Right now, we have a motion on the floor to deny the renewal. Now, that wouldn't prohibit us from writing a new lease. Am I correct on that? The motion would be to deny the existing lease renewal. Is that?
We would probably have to have Councilman Gandy clarify. I think it was just to deny the lease for the many reasons that he had stated. I think the agenda item does state that it could be approved with modifications or denied. So we could do either one.
We can do either one. Okay. Let's, just to get us all back in the front of our minds. Yeah, I'm sorry, do you have anything else?
Just the modification of the lease I was requesting. Again, we have 48 hours a month to make a living out there. We asked for that, and that's what we want. Once June, July, August got here this year, when it hit, we had a record number of 100+ degree days in a row out there. It just about wasn't no reason for us to be there. We have an idea, something we would like to do June, July, August. We would like to run 4 p.m. to dusk, mini bikes only, June, July, and August. No big bikes, no 450s.
A mini bike, is that like 50 cc?
Everything 150 cc and below.
Okay.
So we run the 50 cc kids, the kids on the 85s, and then it's kind of, believe it or not, gotten popular that we do adult mini bike racing. And we're doing one this weekend, Meeker Indoor, that we have people flying in from 11 different states to come to. It's turned into a thing. Mm-hmm. It's accidentally taken off to it. And again, I want to lean into what's working for us. Mm-hmm. This is working on it. And just to try to get out of the heat a little bit, when it's 110 degrees out there, I put a little water on the track. It's gone in 20 minutes. I can't let that neighborhood ever say I made it a dust bowl over there. I won't let it. And when it's 110 degrees, June, July, and August, it's very hard not to. So by limiting the bigger bikes, to make the more noise, that make more dust, moving in kind of the maybe cooler part of the evening, I would like to run June, July, and August instead of 10 to 4. I would like to run 4 to dusk, and I'm willing to just give up running the big bikes those 3 months out of the year. So if renewed, that was my one modification I was requesting.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. refresh our minds, there's a motion and a second on the floor right now. Your motion is to deny entering into an updated 12-month lease agreement. Am I stating that correctly?
To deny entering into a 12-month lease agreement.
Entering into any 12-month lease or an updated?
Any.
All right, I got to write that in. Did you get that, Melissa? All right, any further discussion? Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Nay.
Councilman Mooney.
Nay.
The mayor votes no. You don't think I've been thinking about it? I'll still give you problems. Don't worry about it. In good fun, Kyle. All right. That motion failed. I'm going to read this again, and I'll entertain another motion. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve or approve with modifications or deny entering into an updated 12-month lease agreement with Motocross JT Power Sports LLC for the property located at 4601 East Reno Avenue, Del City, Oklahoma. Authorized mayor to endorse same. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion, we have a discussion on this issue.
Okay. I thought we had one, but okay.
Second.
Kyle Gandy. We have a motion and a second to discuss. Councilman, any discussion on the motion? Yeah, you have to. Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Councilman Mooney.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. The discussion is now open.
So my question is it seems like we need to table this for 2 weeks to, because I'm looking at the insurance thing. We have one that we want 125,000, and we got parts that says $1 million, and then this part and this part. Insurance needs to be updated. Possible times and hours.
You
needs to be
understand, he's not going to buy the insurance until he gets a lease.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Right.
He's not going to
But
get a
we need-
lease until he has the insurance.
So,
He's not going to get a lease until he has the insurance.
so
A way out, city attorney.
would the way out be that you can't,
We could-
you cannot exercise the privileges of this lease until you have the insurance?
Yeah, just make a condition of the
Right.
lease, the insurance is in effect. City attorney, can we make a condition of the lease that it does not go into effect until insurance is in place?
I think that he should be able to get a letter from his insurance agency. that
Letter of
says
intent?
that he would have that coverage, but I would want to know he would have the coverage because I would not advise the city to enter into any contract, especially of this nature, without having the proper insurance. But I think he's going to have something, and it's going to have to be that he has it and he's got the monies available to pay the premium. You know, we need those assurances before that we're going to enter into it. So
You could also insert a clause that says this contract is not valid until insurance. Make that a condition of the lease. Make the insurance the condition of the lease. And if he doesn't get insurance, then the lease never goes into effect.
I think that's how it's already written, that that's a requirement, and also
Okay.
the waiver is already a requirement in the current lease, as I recall.
What do you think about tabling this for 2 weeks and let legal catch up? Can you do that in 2 weeks? In other words, write the lease like it needs to be written? Put the
We're
clause.
just going to be making, like I said, I've got 2 modifications, and it's really about termination. He needs to be telling us in advance and coming to us saying, I'm going to renew, here's my intent to renew, my request to renew, so we're not hanging in the ballast like we have been.
Put that in the contract. That's just a
That
clause.
will be a reason for it to be terminated, so hopefully he'll be paying attention that he doesn't want to get it terminated, so.
You
he'll
understand
do
that?
And the late fees, it will be from May, will be shall be enforced, and if you would rather do $100 a late fee or $100 a day late fee, we can address that, but that needs to be addressed as well. And then the council's gonna need to give some input on the modification that Jeremy requested.
I would entertain, I'm sorry, is everybody done?
So,
A motion to
so
close?
I guess the question comes to his hours. I didn't see the hours breezing through the contract just now, so how does this mini bikes affect the hours?
Smaller engines.
Right, but what's the normal operating hours?
10 to
You're talking
4.
about using
10 to 4.
Well, is it every day? Is it Monday through Friday?
No, sir, we want to do the same 48 hours a month we've been doing.
Okay.
That June, July, August, in the heat of the day, in the middle of the day, there was no point of us really even being out there. So we're asking to move it kind of into the evening time.
So that's the part, that the evening time
During the heat of
was
the summer.
was prohibited just because of the hours throughout normal.
It said in my lease 10 to 4,
10
if
to
I
4.
remember right last
Right.
year. So I just
So
wanted
he's
to,
asking during the heat of the summer to change it to 4 to dusk.
and I'm willing to give up running the bigger, louder, more noise-making motorcycles during those months if we can do that. When
Okay.
we're open during those times. That's what I
Okay.
was asking for.
All right, is there any more discussion? Make a motion to close the
Make a
discussion.
motion to close the discussion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Mooney.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. The discussion portion is now closed. I would entertain a motion to table this for 2 weeks.
I'll make a motion to table this for 2 weeks.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Dean. Councilman Mooney.
Aye.
Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. This item is now tabled until the next meeting. The 21st. So, President's Day is the 20th. That's correct. Okay. Item number 16, public hearing, 100-year floodplain construction, Ray Trent and Patriot Park. Is JD still here? Okay. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve or deny holding a public hearing to declare the City of Dell City's intention to utilize Community Development Block Grant Coronavirus CDBG CV funds to construct walking trails, pavilions, parking lots, and/or fitness equipment located in or around 4507 Southeast 15th Street, Patriot Park, and 4501 Tinker Diagonal, Ray Trent Park. Said properties have been identified by FEMA as Zone AE 100-year floodplain. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve as written.
Hold a public hearing. It says approve or deny holding a public hearing.
Approve a public hearing.
Thank you.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Finch. Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Councilman Mooney.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. The discussion is now open. And Mr. Hawk.
Hi.
We're talking about the 100-year floodplain construction at Ray Trent and Patriot Park.
Oh, boy. FEMA. So this is another requirement that we have to perform for the Community Development Block Grant. Work is already, we're already pulling out RFPs, trying to figure some things out for the Ray Trent Park, Patriot Park planning. We have to make sure that everyone understands this isn't a 100-year floodplain. It does require us to get some basic engineering done to make sure that we're not going to in any way restrict water flow or cause water to pool or cause any such problems. We had a conversation about Ray Trent and Patriot Park back in September, give or take, and it was a reminder that I had to, for flood hazard mitigation, what do you do if it floods on your walkway? And the answer is we don't walk on it. But
Issue
it is still.
snorkels.
Huh, yes, and shoe
Issue
snorkels, very good. Open up a canoeing plan or something exciting in that way. But this is just letting everyone know, as you all remember, we were trying to put in walking trails around Ray Trent Park. We already have a few. We're going to expand on that. We're going to put in a very large outdoor meeting area, is I believe the legal federal wording for that, for the big pavilion. We're hoping to add a couple more pavilions where possible in different areas, specifically the area where you come in off of Delcrest Junior High, or what was Delcrest, I'm not sure what it's called now, putting a pavilion maybe there, different things of that nature. And then, of course, everything in Patriot. Patriot should be complete as far as I can tell, unless we find a place for a pavilion, because I'm a pavilion kind of guy. But that'll all be subject to the city manager and I looking at the map and him telling me yes, no, yes, yes, no. But so far it looks great. The walking trail's already in Patriot Park. Our amazing fitness court is already in Patriot Park. But now we're just expanding that over into Ray Trent. And eventually those trails will reconnect underneath that bridge once ODOT is done with their construction.
All right.
Is there any thought to put a bridge to get to Orville Ray Tower for our future senior citizen center?
Yes, sir. We do have two different bridge options for engineering. We do have an engineer currently working on that. One bridge to connect one section, then we have funding available for a second bridge depending on engineering and last minute costs. We're basically getting everything that the grant has proposed done first, and then if we have any money left over, that'll be for the second bridge, and if not, we'll go out for a different grant in the future. One thing I did want to add that the federal government did authorize a few weeks ago, we cannot put in parking lots, but we can put in parking areas. I will leave it up to you to decide the difference. I hear some folks behind me thinking that way too, but they did authorize a few parking areas, which Ray Trent Park will be in desperate need of as the new and more exciting things come in. Same thing with Eagle Lake, which we've already talked about. They've authorized a parking area there as well.
Use the same product that you would put in a lot? Like, could you pave it, but it's called a paving, it's a
Very
parking
potentially,
area?
yes. The same item or the same materials you use to put in those walking trails might be able to be used for those parking areas. I leave that to the city manager and the public works director to make that work out on paper. But yes, they did authorize parking areas, so we're all very excited.
JD, are we using the same engineer that engineered the bridge on the north end of Ray Trent Park and it came up about 10 feet short? Is it the same engineer that is looking at the bridge from?
Yes, sir.
It
As
is.
of right now, yes, sir. We've already gone through the appropriate RFP process. If we were to reopen that, that would make us miss our federal deadline.
I understand. Just help him measure that.
Yes. Just to show my incredible extent of engineering, I said, okay, if it's 10 feet shorter, can we not move it somewhere else along the creek? And I guess that doesn't how it works. I tried.
And that gets back to my question about this, because originally we were looking at some of the bridges for possible Frisbee Park, and
Those were hiking trail bridges.
hiking trail bridges. But now, like I said, I think it's important for us to make a convenient trail to get from Orville Ray Tower to the Patriot Park. So just re-looking at where are those bridges at.
The more bridges, the better at Ray Trent Park.
Got it.
Okay. Thank you, JD.
Thank you.
I would entertain, is there any more discussion? From who? Is there anybody in the public that would like to discuss bridges at Ray Trent Park? All right, I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Make a motion, we close the public hearing.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Councilman Mooney.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. The public portion is now closed. Did that check your box? Thank you. Move on to item number 17, resolution, CDBG CV Section 3 Plan. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve or deny resolution number 02062023A of the City Council of the City of Del City, stating the city's intention to implement its Community Development Block Grant Coronavirus project activities in accordance with all program regulations, including Section 3 of the Housing and Urban Development Act of 1968, to adopt a Section 3 plan. Authorize mayor to endorse same. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion that we approve Resolution number 0206-2023A of the City Council of the City of Dale City stating the city's intention to implement its community development block grant coronavirus projects activities in accordance with all program regulations, including Section 3 of the Housing and Urban Development Act of 1968. And to adopt a Section 3 plan. Authorize mayor to endorse same.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Mooney.
Aye.
Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. The motion carries. Item 18, assess abatement costs to property owners. Discussion, consideration, possible action, approve and ratify or deny and remove assessment costs in the total amount of $2,089.08 to property owners for the cleanup of property previously abated in accordance with Dale City Code Sections 13-106 through 13-114. Property number 1 is 4800 Tate Drive. The owner is Bean Joel Michael, Dale City, Oklahoma, in the amount of $1,169.54. Property number 2 is 3116 Greenbrier Terrace. The owner is Matthews Reginald of Oklahoma City. The total expenses are $919.54. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion to approve as written.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Councilman Mooney.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. The motion carries. Before we go to executive session, I entertain a motion to recess to the Dale City Municipal Services Authority. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion to recess to DCMSA.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Mooney.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. We are now recessed to the DCMSA, Dale City Municipal Services Authority. Call the roll, please.
Trustee Gandy.
Here.
Trustee Mooney.
Here.
Trustee Finch.
Here.
Trustee Dean.
Here.
And Chairman Eason.
Chairman is here. Move on to item 3, public and trustee input. Is there anybody in the public that would like to address the DCMSA on non-agenda items? Seeing none, are there any trustees?
Yes, sir. So from the lake, the ComCD board, we have gone through and implemented a budget for the next basically 4 years. And so now our city knows that it's looking like we're going to be able to keep our lower rates that we've had for the last 2 years, which is possible, at least two-thirds of what it was. So, so anyway, that's going good, and other than that, everything's going good down there.
All right. And thank you for taking that position and the ComCD directors. Item number 4, manager's report.
Nothing at this time.
Item number 5 is minutes. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve minutes of the regular meeting of DCMSA for January 17, 2023. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion, we approve the minutes as written.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Councilman Mooney.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. The motion carries. Item number 6 is surplus equipment. Discussion, consideration, possible action to declare or deny 24 dumpsters, 4-yard capacity, amount 4, and 3-yard capacity, amount 20, as surplus to the city's needs. Authorize final disposition of items as approved by acting trust manager. These items have been removed from service and are no longer usable or serviceable. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to declare 24 dumpsters as surplus.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
For clarification, the trust manager is the city manager?
The acting,
Thank you.
The acting trust manager is the acting city manager.
Thank you.
So, Mike, there's a slight question. You do have just a total of 24, or is it 44 dumpsters?
It says 24 on mine. 4 yard and 23 yard.
Yeah, it's 24 dumpsters total.
Any further discussion? Take the vote. Trustee Finch.
Aye.
Trustee Dean.
Aye.
Trustee Mooney. Trustee Gandy.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. The motion carries. Any further trust input?
I make a motion that we recess to the Del City Retirement, the Oklahoma Retirement Board.
Yeah.
Second.
I'm sorry.
Municipal Retirement Fund,
yes,
OMRF.
Yes, let me
Say
redo
it
my,
again.
because I also said recess. So I make a motion that we adjourn from the meeting and go
DCMSA.
to the
OMRF.
Oklahoma Municipal Retirement Fund.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Trustee Dean.
Aye.
Trustee Finch.
Aye.
Trustee Mooney.
Aye.
Trustee Gandy.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. We are now recessed from the Del City Municipal Services Authority. And I'd like to call to order the Oklahoma Municipal Retirement Fund. Melissa, would you call the roll, please?
Trustee Gandy.
Here.
Trustee Mooney. Here. Trustee Finch. Here. Trustee Dean.
Here.
And Chairman Eason.
Chairman Eason is here. Is there anybody from the public that would like to address the OMRF regular meeting? Seeing none, any trustees have anything they'd like to add? Non-agenda? Seeing none? Let's see, let's go on to minutes. Number 4, discussion, consideration, possible action to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of OMRF at December 19th, 2022. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion we approve as written.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Trustee Dean.
Aye.
Trustee Finch.
Aye.
Trustee Mooney.
Aye.
Trustee Gandy.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. The motion carries. Item number 5 is a retirement application. Deborah Blaylock. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve city employee Deborah Blaylock receiving a normal retirement from Oklahoma Municipal Retirement Fund per request from the employee. Do I hear a motion?
I make a motion to approve city employee Deborah Blaylock receiving a normal retirement from the Oklahoma Municipal Retirement Fund.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Trustee Finch.
Aye.
Trustee Gandy.
Aye.
Trustee Mooney.
Aye.
Trustee Dean.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion is approved. Thank you, Deborah, for your service to the city of Del City, wherever you are. Item number 6, retirement application, Jan Butler. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve city employee Jan Butler receiving a normal retirement from the Oklahoma Municipal Retirement Fund per request from employee. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion that we approve city employee Jan Butler receiving a normal retirement from the Oklahoma Municipal Retirement Fund per request from the employee.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Trustee Gandy.
Aye.
Trustee Finch.
Aye.
Trustee Dean.
Aye.
Trustee Mooney.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. The motion carries. Item number 7, retirement application, Michael Cantrell. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve city employee Mike Cantrell to receive a normal retirement from the Oklahoma Municipal Retirement Fund per request from the employee. Do I hear a motion?
I make a motion that we approve city employee Michael Cantrell to receive a normal retirement from the Oklahoma Municipal Retirement Fund.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? I'd like to say that Michael has put in 32 years, is that right? Almost 32 years of service to the city of Dale City. And I'd like to just give him a round of applause. Oh, making a little stand up.
With the three people on this agenda here tonight, this is 81 years of experience. Jan is a little over 32 years, and Deborah, one of our dispatchers, is at 18 years.
Wow.
And I'm pushing 32.
I just want to say thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike. You've helped me a lot. You've been great to work with.
I would like to just thank you for bringing the city together and really making Dale City a fantastic place while you've been in this position. And even before then, that you're always such a pleasure to work with in Public Works and all the different places you've been. So you've truly been quite an asset for the city.
I appreciate it all, but this doesn't happen with just me. This is these department heads here. They're the ones who actually do the work. All I do is approve what they do or deny what they do, and there's very little denial. These guys know their jobs. Every department head here is just fantastic. The credit goes to them.
Mike, you came along at a time when we needed someone of your caliber and someone of your personality. The city was reeling from previous problems, and you helped walk us through to get us up to this point. The city's made some tremendous strides. You've hired some amazing people, and JD. And we appreciate what you've done and the efforts you put forth. So thank you for that. All right, we have a motion and a second. Trustee Dean.
Aye.
Trustee Mooney.
Aye.
Trustee Gandy.
Aye.
Trustee Finch.
I don't want to say aye, but aye.
And the chair votes aye. Motion is approved. Any further committee input? I would entertain a motion to recess back to the council meeting.
Make a motion, we recess back to city council.
Second.
Right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Take the vote. Trustee Gandy.
Aye.
Trustee Dean.
Aye.
Trustee Finch.
Aye.
Trustee Mooney.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. We are now recessed back to the city council meeting. Item number 19, executive session. Discussion, consideration, possible action, if any, to approve recessing to executive session pursuant to the Oklahoma Open Meeting Act 25 OS 301 for the purpose of the following: discussion concerning confidential matters pertaining to pending investigations, claims, and actions, including but not limited to Austin Eberly versus the City of Dale City, Oklahoma County District Court, CJ 2022435, New Day Traveler LLC, City of Dale City, Oklahoma County District Court, CJ 20225832, and Candace Jefferson versus City of Dale City et al., Oklahoma County District Court, CJ 2022274, pursuant to 25 OS 307B4, as the council, on advice of its attorney, has determined that disclosure will seriously impair the ability of the council to process the claim or conduct a pending investigation or litigation in the public interest. City Attorney, do these items meet the qualifications for executive session?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, in my opinion, these are appropriate for executive session.
I would entertain a moment to adjourn to executive session.
Make a motion, we recess to executive session.
Yeah, recess.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is